So, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Matt Dickerson, and I'm a member of the football team here at UCLA.
What year are you?
I'm a junior,
What are you studying?
sociology,
And do you go to Wolfgang Puck often?
very often
Why?
because of the great food, and it's a good study environment.
Would you say the food is affordable?
No.
What's the usual pricing?
Um, Single entrees probably range from about like $12, and for me that doesn't usually fill me up, so I have to get like a. Sometimes I'll usually get two entrees, or I'll get a side like a salad or wings, which also can range from minimum of like $6 to 8.
If you could recommend a dish, which one would it be?
Chicken paillard.
What is it?
The chicken paillard. It's chicken, two chicken breasts with like pesto, roasted potatoes, and a small salad on the side.
Yum. Do you know where you usually sit when you go into to Wolfgang?
Where do I sit?
Yeah.
I like sitting in the booth, but usually if I'm just like have to go, I'm not really trying to sit down. I'll just sit like in one of the tables in the middle near the bar area. So I could like I don't know. I'll even watch TV, but just kind of glimpse at TV, act like I'm watching
What is usually playing on the TV?
sports.
Sports.
Sports are always playing, like ESPN.
You mentioned it was a good studying environment. Why is that?
At certain times, the studying environment is good. Not really during lunch hour. But when it's not lunch, like around 3 o'clock, hardly anyone's in there. The TV's not really, the TVs aren't on, but you can't really hear the sound at all. And usually all the booths are open, so it's almost like a little cubicle, if you will.
So, what time would you usually stay there, morning or afternoon?
More afternoon, never morning.
Has there ever been anything that was memorable that has happened there?
Man. What do you mean? I don't know. Not really.
Is the service good?
The service is great. The,
The water.
I'm gonna tell you my water. So,
What?
if you're eating a meal, they'll refill your water bottle. Not your water bottle, your water cup. But as soon as you're done with your meal, you have to ask them because they won't refill it.
When you go, do you usually go by yourself or with others?
If I'm going, I'll always text someone that I'm going there. But if they don't go, I'm still gonna go anyway. Usually everyone has different schedules than me, so I'll just go. Some majority of the time I'm by myself.
So when you go there to study, how much work would you say you get done while you're there?
Yeah, usually when I go, I'll probably run into somebody and I'll sit. It's almost like I always run into somebody there.
Do you notice much about the people around you?
Do I notice other people around me?
Do you notice much about them? Like, do they come in by themselves or in groups? Like those little things?
They're usually like with company. They're never really by themselves. unless they're sitting in a booth. But even that, they're always with somebody.
When you study, how much work do you usually get done?
Um, I usually get a start on my work, or I end up finishing it. It's just one of those things where it's just like, because I procrastinate a lot, so like it gives me the opportunity to get a head start on something rather than just sit there for 2 hours in between classes.
So what's the average amount of time you spend there? 2 hours?
Average probably like at least an hour to an hour 20.
What are the employees like?
I know them very well since I go there all the time. I know them by name. And they're cool with me, so a lot of times I already know what I want.
Well, that's convenient. Let's see.
Are there other places close by that would afford the same
Are there other places close by that would afford the same, like,
opportunity to study?
Kirchhoff, I guess.
Would you go there to study, or would you just eat there and then study?
Where?
At Wolfgang. Like, would you go there just to study?
So I'll go there to eat, and then, like, if I'm feeling like it, I'll pull out my laptop.
If you're feeling like it. You'd never go there just to be like, I'm going to go study at Wolfgang.
I don't feel like I've ever had that mentality.
So does he study every time he goes there?
Nah.
So you don't study every time you go there?
No, not every single time.
Okay.
Especially because my classes this quarter aren't that challenging. Maybe I'm just too smart.
Let's see here. All right, this is a good one. Would you ever consider taking a date to Wolfgang Puck?
A first date?
Has he been to the one off Sunset?
It could be any date.
Study date.
Yeah, a study date. There you go.
It could be any date.
Let me see.
Probably not. Like,
would you ever consider other places around Wolfgang to go to? Or why do you choose that specifically?
the only reason why I choose Wolfgang is because it's really the only restaurant on campus where it's an actual restaurant where you can sit down and you have service. No other place on campus is available where you have actual waitresses and waiters serving on you. Because that's why it's great, because it can also be an express and also a sit down place. So it's kind of, you're gonna get the 2 for 1. The majority of other places are just, you order up front, you get a number and you wait, or you order up front and you tell them what you want and then you're on the go. Like Panda, Rubio's, Sapporo, or I think that's how you pronounce it. Greenhouse. There's all these places that aren't they're restaurants, but they're not sit-down places.
So would you say you go there for its convenience and it actually being a restaurant? Like, would you go there?
I wouldn't say it's that convenient, because you wouldn't I wouldn't go there if I have 30 minutes of time. I'd only really go there if I have an hour to 2 hours between classes. because the food can kind of take a little bit long depending on the hour.
So sometimes the service takes a while.
Yeah, it probably when it's really busy, it probably takes at least 15 minutes for your food to get there.
Interesting.
15 to 20.
Okay. What would you say the pace of the restaurant is?
Like I said, depending on the hour, the service can be fast or slow. During lunch hour, it's hard to get a hold of somebody because there's a lot of people in there, and the servers are kind of rushing around everywhere. Whereas around 3 or 4 o'clock, it's much slower. It's easier to get someone's attention. They're more attentive to you. And yeah.
What about the pace of the people?
The people around lunch hour, it's pretty loud. There's usually a long line, sometimes out the door to order food. It's not really a great study environment.
Do you notice the music playing when it's really crowded?
Sometimes, occasionally.
What kind of music do they play?
I think it's like just pop. Like, I haven't. Is this like pop and rock? I guess.
Is it usually loud enough so you're not even really listening to the music?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think they're really a big music place. Kirkhoff is a big music place.
Do you notice a lot of people at the bar?
Yeah. Around lunchtime, the bar is pretty packed.
Really?
Okay.
With all kinds of, what kind of people?
The type of people there are like more business like attire.
What are they usually getting at the bar? Do you notice what they usually get at the bar?
The women usually get like a glass of Chardonnay or like wine.
Wow.
Whereas the men always get beer. So I think they have beer on tap.
And they're older people usually?
Yeah. Around mid-30s.
So would you say Wolfgang
Late
has
20s.
a mix of like all-aged students or graduate students, even professors? Or is there a specific one that's usually filling up the place?
Can you repeat that one time?
Is it mostly like mixed-aged people, or is there a specific group that usually fills up Wolfgang? Like undergraduate students?
Majority mixed age people.
Very cool. Okay, I think that's great. I was wondering, is it okay with you that this will be put on YouTube or another form of public access, so it is shared with my group and my professors, etc.?
Yeah, go ahead.
Great, thank you so much. Hi there, would you mind giving me a little information about yourself, your name, what you do?
Yeah. So, my name is Sade Sheik. I'm 21 years old. I'm originally from Newport Beach, California. I'm a senior at UCLA with a potential. Shut up, George. And then studying poli-sci with a minor in public health.
Very cool. Do you ever go to Wolfgang Puck Express in Ackerman Union?
To be honest, I go on very rare occasions. Due to the fact that when I see Wolfgang Puck, Like, that's expensive. My student bank account shouldn't probably go there. And I should be probably going to a place more like In-N-Out where I can get
How
a
much?
wonderful burger and fries and a drink for like $6.
How much do the meals usually cost?
At Wolfgang?
Yeah, when you do go.
Well, the cheapest thing on Wolfgang's menu is $9, and that would be like the margarita pizza, which I got when I went there.
Is that what you would recommend?
Yeah, that's usually where I'm like, that's what I get. Because if I want to get, like, let's say a burger or something, it's like $15 or 18, like almost 18 with a drink. And it's just kind of dumb to spend that much money in one day over one meal.
Do you usually go by yourself or with others?
I've gone by myself once, and then I've gone with my friends a couple times.
Is it a good studying environment?
You know, one time I thought it was. Then it was a complete fail, and it was really hard to study in there.
Why would you say that?
Because I'm okay, but like, if I step outside and study where, like, the rest of the food areas, where, like, Panda Express is, and, like, Rubio's and all that stuff, I can study in that area. Because it's just, like, people talking. But in Wolfgang, it's, like, the music, plus it's closed off, so the voice and everyone talking is even enhanced even more. And so it's just like extra noise that, like, it goes past my threshold where I can focus.
Where do you usually sit when you go there?
Wherever there's an outlet. And if I'm not trying to study or do anything, I just go in like a spot that's either available or that, like, I vibe with.
How would you say the general vibe there is?
Like, you know, if you have, like, a good view of the restaurant, I'm not, like, stuck in the back corner where it's like I'm facing a wall. Like, you get to see, like, the ambiance of the place.
What would you say the actual restaurant vibe is?
I would say it's not the traditional Wolfgang Puck environment, but it's more so of the environment that's tied in with, like, what high-end professors and grad students and their people's, like, students' families and all that stuff would kind of migrate through to get food. So it's not where it's the typical undergraduate, sorry, Theo's really snoring. It's not like the typical undergraduate vibe where everyone's kind of in the study mode and trying to grind out work and eat food and talk and catch up. It's more like families are passing through, professors are passing through, interviews are being conducted, professors are just hanging out, TAs are, like, grabbing a beer, students are grabbing a beer, because it's kind of just like, that's the one spot you can get alcohol, I feel like, on campus.
Do you see a lot of people usually getting beers?
I don't see normally people like my friends and stuff, but I see definitely, it seems like TAs, like people are, like, in the grad school program.
How is the service there?
The service, it's kind of weird. It's not that bad.
What do you mean by weird?
Because you can either order through at the cashier and they'll bring the food to you, or you have to, like, stop a waiter and be like, yo, can I take my order?
They don't question you first?
They kind of question you when you do it the second way that I mentioned, where it's like you sit down and then they're like, oh, you haven't gone up to there, and they're like, yeah, no, I haven't, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, and they'll take your order.
How long do you usually stay there if you do go?
Not long, maybe an hour at most.
Would you say you go there in the morning or afternoon?
Afternoon.
How is the pace of it at that time?
It goes through waves.
Do you...
Like, if it's closer towards lunchtime, definitely a lot more people rushing through. If it's through the time where people are in classes and it's like an off day, like, yeah. No,
and do you ever see other students or professors doing work there?
Yeah, I saw, like, when I went there one time, I saw, like, 3 people studying. Other than that,
What made you
no,
know they
not
were
really.
studying? Did they have their...
Yeah, one person had their laptop, another guy was reading a book, then switched over to, like, opening out his, like, laptop. Then another person was just reading another book. And then I had my laptop out and my notebook.
And when you did try to study there, it just didn't work for you?
Yeah, it was just, like, too much. And I think I just wasn't mentally in the state to, like, full-on study.
And you decided just to give it a try, and then it failed?
Yeah, I gave it a try, and, like, I realized that I can't do, like, my heavy, like, reading there. So then I just did, like, my other to-do lists, like, that don't need, like, that much concentration.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, I think that is good. Thank you for letting me interview you. I appreciate it.
No problem, Kanya, okay?
And you don't mind that I am going to upload this audio to either YouTube or another audio thing?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Thank
It kind
you.
of sucks. I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Hi there. Do you mind stating your name, your age, your year, and what you do?
Yes. My name is Sydney Freeman Sacker. I am 20 years old. I am a junior at UCLA. And what do? I am a college student, currently broke, and I am not employed.
Okay, great. So, do you go to Wolfgang Puck often?
I would say I go maybe once or twice a month, just depending on like what mood I'm in. I have a meal plan set up at the school, so a lot of the times I would resort to a meal plan because it's already paid for, whereas Wolfgang Puck, you do have to pay, and it's one of the more expensive quick service restaurants on campus, so I tend to choose cheaper options before I decide to go there.
Do you consider the food to be good quality?
I would characterize the food, or I guess describe the food as high quality compared to like Rubio's or the Taco Bell or the like Carl's Jr. that's like in the same vicinity as Wolfgang Puck.
Do you go by yourself or with others?
No, I go with others.
Do you usually go there to eat or study, would you say?
I go there to eat. I'm not the type of person to study in really noisy, like kind of restaurant spaces. It's kind of hard for me to focus, and I end up wanting to have a conversation instead of do homework.
How would you say the general vibe there is?
I would say it's actually more calm and like more relaxed and easier to just like chill than being outside at the tables by the other quick service restaurants.
How is the service?
It's not like 100% perfect. A lot of the time when you sit down, you don't really have a server. They just have someone that brings you the food to your number, and from the times that I've gone, I usually have to flag down somebody to get me something or refill my drink without them asking for me.
Do you notice much about the people around you there?
I usually always look around at people at restaurants just to kind of get the vibe of people, and a lot of the time it seems like it's usually students or people that are visiting the campus or touring UCLA and want to go somewhere that's a little bit more higher end and a sit-down restaurant.
Is there anything that has happened at Wolfgang that was memorable for you?
Not really. I mean, every time I go, the food's pretty good. I mean, it's not like, oh my god, like I have to have this again. But yeah, I wouldn't really say. The one thing that stood out to me was one time I waited incredibly long for a to-go chicken soup, which you would think the chicken soup is already pre-cooked and just heated up in a soup, can, or not soup can, but like a apparatus or whatever, and I waited like extremely long for just a little thing of soup to go. So that was kind of annoying, but that's really it.
Do you remember what time around that was at?
It was during orientation, so it was, I believe it was August, like end of August, early September. I can't remember the exact date.
Was it like in the morning or afternoon?
It was lunchtime.
Lunchtime. And would you prefer to go there during lunchtime, or?
I mean, lunchtime is really busy at any of those restaurants, especially the Rubio's and the other fast food places around Wolfgang. Wolfgang doesn't usually have as long of a line, but it does take longer to get food there because, you know, it's a little bit better quality. So I tend to just avoid all of them at all costs unless it's the weekend and there's less students on campus.
And during the weekend, would you say you go there more, or would you go there during the week?
I'd probably say I'd go there during the weekend. I haven't really gone that much since school started. I would usually go when I was coming to visit or see friends on campus.
Is there a specific food you'd recommend from there?
I like their cheeseburger. It's pretty standard, good quality. And then actually my friend had me try a little bite of her chicken sandwich. That was really good. It had like, I think it had artichokes on it or something. I can't remember, but it was really good.
Do you, off the top of your head, know where you usually sit when you go?
I always sit, like, there's booths right behind the bar, kind of to the window side. So when you walk in, like, to the right, but in the back up to the booths on the back side, on the right side, I usually sit in those booths.
And what do you usually bring with you when you go?
Just, you know, my purse, like, if you were to go to any restaurant, just, like, you know, money and your phone and your purse, and I don't know.
Do you notice other people dining there that come in with more than just like the normal purse or phone?
Yeah, I see people with backpacks, laptops, usually on their laptops, earphones. People are on, you know, their earphones having conversations with people or watching like shows or listening to music while they eat.
And you said it was a loud environment?
It's not super loud. I mean, it's like they have music playing, people are having conversations, but it's a little bit lower volume than right outside their doors and the larger food court area.
Okay, very cool. All right, I think that's good. And I wanted to ask, it is okay that I might put this, or not might, I will put this on YouTube or another form of making it available for people to listen?
That is 100% fine.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly, for being a great interviewer.